I want to talk about sleep today. I talk to and help a ton of patients and clients who have trouble sleeping. And, I've talked about my troubles of insomnia for years. And it turns out probably about 40 or 50% of all adults say they've had, for long periods of time, less than 7 hours of sleep every night, right? So when that happens, we know that there is a hugely increased risk for things like depression, diabetes, obesity, dementia. I could go on, but I'm not here to scare you. So basically, getting sleep is really, really important. So I want to give you 3 easy tips that if you get these done, there's a much, much higher likelihood that you're going to get really good sleep every night, right? So the first one is just turn the lights down. What do I mean by that? So when I start to talk to, my clients and we'll say, what kind of lights do you have on? I mean, they have on, the kitchen lights, the dining room lights, there's overhead lights in the, foyer, and then they've got 3 lamps in the bedroom. It's too much. What tends to happen is our brains get confused between sunlight and just artificial light. And so melatonin doesn't get released when it's supposed to. So one easy quick win you can get is just to have really low dim lights after the sun goes down, okay? So the second tip really is to not eat for at least 2 hours, maybe even longer than that, before you go to sleep. We know that if we eat a really heavy meal, you've probably experienced this yourself, or ice cream or something like that right before you go to bed, you know that you have a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep. We show that, studies show that there's a much higher likelihood you're going to wake up in the middle of the night. So one thing I would say is, let's say it's, 10 o'clock at night and you think you're hungry. One easy thing you can try is to just drink some warm herbal tea. Most of the time, that's going to satisfy your hunger. If it doesn't, then you can eat a little something like a piece of fruit or something like that. But ideally, you're going to bed without really much food in your belly, right? So that's the second one. The third one is probably the hardest one, and even for me to do, which is to turn off the devices. Just got to turn them off. Sleep experts will say you've got to turn everything off electronically for up to 2 hours, at least 2 hours. But when I say this to folks, they're like, I can't do that. So how about a bargain for 1 hour before bedtime, right? So think about how active our brain can be with all of that stimulation, right? It can, whether it's email or social media, even TV. Yes, it has the blue light that comes in, and I've had patients say, oh, well, I have a blue light filter on my phone, it's fine. It's not okay. You can't be on Twitter until 11:30 at night and then think that your brain can automatically shut itself off. It just doesn't work that way. So that's the third one. I know it's hard to do, but I strongly recommend it. And what I end up doing is I end up putting parameters on my phone. So like at 9 o'clock, I get a little reminder and a ding, and then I have to work hard to open up the rest of my programs on my phone. So that's always a good trick you can use. So those are my 3 big tips to get amazing restful sleep. I actually talk about not just those 3, but a whole slew of different things that we can personalize in my one-on-one program for sleep. And I've got this amazing program coming up that's called Ready to Thrive. There, we're actually going to spend a whole week diving deep into this subject, and we're going to talk about some Ayurveda secrets as well. It's going to be really, really fun. There are 2 things that you can do actually right now. One of them is you can sign up. I've got a very, very free webinar on living with intention. So it's like a little sneak peek at the Ready to Thrive program. I've got that coming up. I'll put the link in there for that. And secondarily, if you feel like you're interested and you want to sign up already, you can do that. But I would recommend just talking to me first. Just make sure we've answered questions and all that. So that's going to be fun. Now, imagine if you were getting really restful sleep every night, 7.5, 8 hours every night, and you were waking up with all kinds of energy, and your day was going the way you said it would. Wouldn't that be amazing?